Titans are walking mountains, literal gods of war who carry weapons so strong that they can destroy entire cities with a single shot. They can carry entire guard regiments in their legs. They are unmatched on the battlefield, and the only way to take them down is either with another Titan or a truly ludicrous amount of firepower. It's amazing that probably half of the 40k fanbase still believes in this, in spite of every single sentence being wrong. Today I shall be discussing why the 40k Titans are much weaker than you think, and how could they be easily fixed by Games Workshop. So let's just get into it. But before we do, more than 95% of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you enjoyed this one, remember to click the like and subscribe button. Okay, enough shilling. Let's start off with the first statement that they are the size of the mountain. You have probably all seen this meme of stupid Tau thinking that Titans are just propaganda, and then they start panicking as the mountain-sized church moves closer. But this is just bullshit, there's no other way to put it. Taking numbers from different sources, the Imperator, the largest Titan there is other than Abominatus, is either 50 or 100 meters tall, which would mean that he is either the same height or just barely twice as tall as the New York woman. And considering recent official animations and artwork, the real number is probably closer to the lower end of the estimate. So, you know, I think it's pretty safe to say that he ain't going out on a date with her anytime soon. And taking into the account other artworks, it's also clear that he ain't packing much either. And whilst we are already discussing size, let's talk about the Imperator's ability to house and deploy entire guard regiments from its legs/boots, I don't know what to call these lower bits. Let's even ignore the fact that each time the Titan steps foot, the entire guard regiment is gonna experience 90 Gs of force, get 60 concussions and break every single bone in their body. Let's just ignore those issues and let's just focus on how the fuck are they supposed to fit in there. Unless I'm misremembering something, an entire guard regiment is approximately 250,000 men. Unless the Titan's legs are built like a clown car with their own special pocket dimensions and everything, there is no way to fit 250,000 men in those. Like, it just doesn't make sense. What sort of black magic are they using to manage this? Also, this doesn't seem remotely useful. It's stated in the lore that when the Titan fires, the ground around them erupts into flames. So if they ever exit the vehicle and the Titan fires, then they're just gonna get hit with the Hiroshima-Nagasaki treatment. Next is their firepower, and you probably heard something along the lines that one shot can destroy entire mountain or entire city, but again, that's just bullshit. During the Siege of Hell's Reach, the Imperator Titan was fighting Orc Gargants, and although she was able to destroy them, she was only able to barely destroy them with one shot once their power shields went down. And Gargants are not these super constructs plated with ultra metal adamantium 5 million. No, they are literally made from rusted sheet metal plates connected to one another with glue, tape and hopes and dreams of the crew. So basically, one full blast from the Imperator Titan can barely fully destroy the Statue of Liberty, a far cry from the city under that it's made up to be by the fandom. Next up is the belief that Titans can only be taken down by other Titans or a ludicrous amount of firepower. And this is just wrong. If I recall correctly, during the Siege of Rax, the traitors showed up with Titans, and whilst they managed to put Kriegsmen on the back foot, the Kriegsmen figured out relatively quickly that a couple of Baneblades and Lehman Russ tank companies supported by artillery fire could bring down a god engine. And not to mention, Lehman Russes and Baneblades alongside artillery are super simple and cheap to produce. Titans are not. Even if you lose 500 tanks, 10 Baneblades and 100 Earthshakers in exchange for just one Titan, that's still positive ROI for you. And before anyone is like, Titans are coded with Super Steel 500 that's impervious to 120mm rounds of the Lehman Russ. I just wanna say that we saw on Vrax and Siege of Terra that that's just not true, alongside a literal fucking orc breaking through the command center using a shitty ass car in one of the orc novels. Now, I could go on with other Titans' faults flaws like void shields being extremely vulnerable to buckshot ammunition due to how they work, but let's just skip that boring part and get to how can we fix them and actually make them badass, alongside actually making them practical and useful instead of budgetary black holes whose only real usefulness is as propaganda machines. First, their size should be larger than that of the Cloverfield monster, aka 10 to 20 kilometers, so it would be roughly half or the full size of Manhattan. There should be entire colonies and generations of people living in the Titan, serving the role of blood, delivering supplies where needed and fending off invaders should they ever somehow get in, alongside other purposes, but we will get to those later on. They should be like voidsmen that never leave their starship, except now they almost never leave their Titan. They should be fanatically loyal to the preservation of the machine and also be checked upon daily by Mechanicus medical staff and psychers for any genetic abnormalities or doubts of loyalty. Basically, they should be as fanatical as Kriegsmen. It would also be cool if Titans get attached to their human workers and refuse to fire their weapons until everyone gets aboard as to not injure its own crewmen. We already saw in the Webway War that Titans are sentient enough that they can get attached to places, people and other Titans, so it wouldn't be that surprising. When it comes to their weapons, now they should be powerful enough to destroy entire hive cities in a single shot. Even if they miss, it should create enough of an explosion that it breaks the surface of the continent, causing eruption, earthquakes and swallowing entire cities into the lava below. Basically, even if the hive city has void shields, it just doesn't matter because Titan can just shoot next to the city and allow the lava to do the rest. It should also be that the weapons are so powerful that they can serve as space battleground support guns, so that Titans on the planet can contribute to the Void War. But even with this, Titans would still probably make no sense, with them being such large targets whilst only being capable of providing direct fire support. So instead, they should be manufacturing facilities equipped with copies of thousands of STC templates, being able to create mining servitors and house mineral processing and refining facilities alongside automated manufacturing ones. They should be able to create whatever you need, be it rivers of armored vehicles, oceans of las guns, or enough air superiority fighters to block out the fucking sun. The crew on the Titan should be in charge of taking care of these instruments, being given the role of like Mechanicus Adept Helper or something like that. Meanwhile, there should also be the subset of the population called the Titan Guardians that are equipped to the Solar Auxilia standards and with the experience to match, who shall serve the role of the anti-boarding party force. They should be equipped with their own mechanized forces, except instead of tanks they will have mini Imperial Knight mechs kinda like the Tau. And there should be like millions of them, and every part of the Titan, like a right leg, left arm, etc. should have their own culture and their own color schemes. This ability to manufacture would be even more useful than you can imagine. Titans don't spend most of their time in battle, but rather in storage on board of spaceships, growing bored and unruly, and usually they are called off from missions because it takes so long for them to get there. Now, if they are not on the mission, they can visit, let's say, a feudal world for supplies, and whilst on it, Titan can build mining facilities, processing facilities, factories, military education schools, power grids, housing, and so on, making them far more useful than just being stupid mecha go pew pew. Now, if you get a word about the Tyranid invasion, you can send the Titan Legion to prepare and fortify the entire planetary sector. Basically, Titans can serve the roles of the mini Forge worlds, building endless supplies of equipment. This becomes even more useful once you realize that supplies of military aid are usually drastically slowed down by warp storms or any other warp shenanigans for that matter. You could also narratively make Titans be poetic in a way. Once a Titan dies, he becomes a new hive city, Titan's corpse, serving the role of a power supply, housing unit and a factory all at once. And then as the time goes on, the hive city keeps on growing, so much so that after a century nobody knows that their hive city was built upon the sacrifice of a god, nor that their ancestors were once the Titan's crewmates. The metal bones that once bare the weight of millions now bear the weight of trillions. The plasma heart that once provided enough power to destroy civilizations now gives off barely enough to heat up the homes of the cold and hungry masses of the descendants that the god machine once called crewmates. No, friends. Okay, that would be it from me. If you like this video, smash like and subscribe, comment if you agree or disagree. Until the next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.